Jason Whitlock
Mm.
brought up a very controversial point about Cam Newton.
He said they dress like clowns.
You're on TV every other day. You present yourself in a certain type of way. Is there something to be said for dressing like the job you want?
I'm sorry for having personality. This is just what the society is nowadays. People are allowed to have a personality, their flair, whatever you call it.
One got the numbers, one let the game on. Two different voices, never the same. Mic on fire when the truth collides. It ain't just one story, must be two sides.
A guy who likes to talk out the side of his neck a lot, Jason Whitlock. He brought up a very controversial point about how Matt Ryan, Troy Aikman, and Tom Brady getting hired was probably going to bring up a narrative about racism from the likes of Cam Newton and Ryan Clark. And seemingly so, Cam Newton played right into his hands, and he definitely brought up how he doesn't understand why the guys getting hired for these front office positions never look like him, why they didn't go get a guy like Mike Vick or others. Or even Ryan Clark, the guy that he sits next to on the desk, who we just talked about. And
He said they dress like clowns.
that's exactly what Jason Whitlock said. He said, why would owners hire guys who are going on TV and trying to make it all about themselves with the way they dress and the way that they're trying to do this showmanship type thing instead of the guys in the broadcast booth that are coming in, blue suit, black suit, CBS logo on it, and making it all about what they have to say instead of about themselves.
I'm sorry for having personality. I'm sorry guys have personality. I'm sorry guys have stylists and can dress. I'm
Yeah,
sorry
so that's
guys.
what I want to. That's what I want to ask you, man. You're on TV every other day. You present yourself in a certain type of way. Is there something to be said for show up in a certain type of way, and the opportunities will come about because of that, or is it we can
I
dress
think
any
10 to
type of way
15
now?
years ago, it was stronger than ever. You always heard dress for the job you want, not the job you have. You hear it all the time. And when you were going to work on television, they typically told you, like, look, black suit, gray suit, blue suit, white shirt, any color tie. You know what I'm saying? Like keep it professional. Don't distract the viewers. Like we don't want the viewers tuning in to see what you're gonna wear. Like we want them to tune in and see what your report says. Like don't do too much. But nowadays, that's also back in the days where like you had people, directors, typically white men, in these positions telling you what you could and could not wear or what you could and could not do with your hair. For a very long time, black people in this profession were told what we couldn't do. I had a former news director in Jackson, Tennessee. That was my guy. Like I'm bringing up this story, like there's no beef between us and there was no ill, feelings about this back in the day. But when I had the job there, I asked him, could I grow my hair out similar to like this? And at the time, I had a low fade haircut, and he was like, "What does your picture look like on the bio?" And I was like, "Low fade." He was like, "All right, that's how you go keep it." And for a very long time, like black women in this industry, this television industry, were told that they couldn't wear their natural hairstyles. They couldn't have braids on air. Like they had to come in there with their hair straightened every single day. So, as a black woman, when you're having to straighten your hair, perm your hair, things like that, it kills your hair. Like you don't have that life, that bounce in it anymore. And for so long, these people control and dictated how we looked on air. Fast forward to 2025, 2026. Now we can be ourselves. Now we can showcase our personality. Black women can come on television rocking their braids, rocking their natural curls, and just be themselves. Black men can dress however they want. We can go double breasted. We can go regular suit. We can go pinstripe. We can go a window pane suit. Like we can do anything we want now because that's who we are. And that's what the society allows us to be in 2026. And I think news directors have softened their stance on that because they realize that was somewhat like sexual discrimination, racial discrimination, where you're not allowing a person to be themselves. And I think for Jason Whitlock to come out here and say, dress for the job you want, you're not getting this. You look like clowns. You just sound like one of those people who used to tell you what you had to dress like, and you're still following their rules in 2026. So I think it's an outdated thing.
Yeah, definitely. And even if us as Black people show up in a certain type of way, the way that is pertaining to dressing like the job you want, it never guarantees us anything.
Right.
It's always been said that we have to work twice as hard and be twice as good to get even close half of what they got. And the NFL and the way that they go about business, we know there's this underlying tone of some old ways of thinking, I'll just say. And us getting opportunities by dressing a certain type of way has never been the formula to success. So what you're saying, Jason Whitlock, you're saying it like you don't understand what's really happening in this country, and it's always been happening. You can't get around it.
No, you can't. And to sit here and tell Ryan Clark and Cam Newton, two guys that were really, really good at their positions in their time, to say you don't get this job because you don't dress the part. What does that say about our society? That I would choose a guy who wears a boring looking suit because he's traditional and maybe not as skilled, and not a mastermind of anything. I'm gonna go hire him because he wears a suit, he looks professional, over a guy who has his own style. I mean, like, look at Mike McDaniel, former coach of the Miami Dolphins, wearing capris everywhere he went, with, Supreme Air Force Ones and, a big watch and Cartier sunglasses and things like that. Like, this is just what the society is nowadays. People are allowed to have a personality, their flair, whatever you call it. So, I mean, you look at a man like Jason Whitlock with no style, no nothing. He's just saying what a lot of people think, but, can't say it because of their stance or where they are in their company. And he's saying it for them. And I don't get that man no airtime, no time. I'm mad that we're actually giving this time right now. I'm shaking my head. Thanks for watching that video. If you want more Must Be Two Sides content, be sure to click the links below and follow our journey.
Stand for the truth, otherwise take a knee. Made it to the league, now we gotta take the lead. Must be two sides.